You know, I have to totally confess in this moment, this is the funniest thing. It is like so bizarre that I sit here in my little house, in my space that's really, this is like my space. This is the only slice in the world right now that I have that's mine. And I sit here and I record myself. There's a little bit of bizarreness to that. And I had a total meltdown last night, because a situation happened with my dog. She ran away 3 times. And that energy of calling in something and it running from you struck a chord that just kind of brought me to my knees. I'm a huge advocator of being okay with the breakdown. And wildly enough, that chaos and that energy that came through, and fortunately I have a sweet husband who didn't try to fix it. Progress. He just listened, and I gave myself permission to cry. And so today, clearly, not clearly, but this is what happens when you let yourself get into the soul. The soul is about getting into the depth of you, is getting into the discomfort, is getting into the parts of you that freak the crap out of you. Now, I need to do a disclaimer real quick. This is the parts of you that just feels so expansive it swallows you, not the parts of you and your ego that tell you how horrible you are, or what a victim you are, or blaming everybody else. There's a big difference, okay? And so I thought today would be a good day to do it. But what happens is when you allow the breakdown, right? There's that song, Beauty in the Breakdown, that keeps coming through because that's what happens. So somebody I know who's gone through a lot of life changes, and she's also choosing to be sober, which I think is so admirable right now, being a single mom, and during a pandemic. And, you know, I shared with her kind of my soul care method, and I let myself fall apart, and then I have to research to make sure I'm not losing my mind. Okay, this is the abbreviated method. There's also includes a part of yelling at the heavens, yelling at God. You know, and it was really sweet. Her comment was, "You're not losing your mind." And I said, well, we all are. We all are, because that's the only way we can break through. So that's the transparency I'm starting with. If you're like, oh, girl, you too much for me, then I don't know why you're here, because I'm going to be too much, because I'm losing my mind. I hang out in my little space talking to myself. I mean, I know you guys are there and you see me, but I don't get to see you. I don't get to see you. So unless you actually comment, like, you know, take the time and type out little letters in the comments, or even in the group, or message me, I don't know if you're there. Yes, I'm pretty intuitive, but I don't know if you're there. So really, it is just me hanging out in this space on this beautiful day, talking to myself in my room. Some people in my family might argue that I've been waiting my whole life for this moment. So however you're showing up, whether it's live or via recording, wherever you're finding this, I thank you. Yeah, thank you. It's Mary, you're here with me. Thanks, sweetheart. So happy to know that. I really appreciate it. And it's such a lovely day here in Louisville, and we've had this like trifecta of beauty, and that trifecta of beauty also really makes it easier to have the breakdown. Because when we let ourselves fall apart, we actually cultivate more compassion. So the topic today, me here, Teresa Phelps Martin as your friendly guide on the side, is this idea of soulful, this idea of, there's so much potency in a tear, but our whole lifetime and generations before us, we were told that tears are bad. Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. But they're one of the only ways our being can release a level of stress. And yes, sometimes when we're crying, it's like, oh, pathetic, but it breaks down the barriers and the expectations we've put on ourselves. And it helps open ourselves up to more compassion. So one of my big ahas, since you're with me, Mary, is this idea that there's four main elements that the soul flow method that I teach in my own little space cultivates, and that comes to the four major elements that you could argue there's more, but for simplicity's sake, space contains it all, okay? It is everywhere, and it is the environment in which we get to exist. So then that's just always there. And then you have earth, water, fire, and air. And so today you see the little emoji of the water and the fire sitting on water. And if you just logically think about what happens when you put water and fire together, you could boil, you could sizzle, you could steam up. However, when you put fire and water together, you create a tender heart. You create this connection, this beautiful ability to go down and in and have this energy to come up and out, all right? So soul is all about going down and in. It's about coming into the potential of your innermost self and centering yourself there. Usually we hear about spirit. Spirit is going up and out, transcending. Soul is about embodiment. Spirit is about transcending. That's why we have so much spiritual bypassing. So if we're going to be full of soul, then we're going to be full of this emotional realm, and our emotions are the currency of our soul. They are the data that we collect, and understanding that as I was in my own personal breakdown of being vulnerable within my own landscape of me and in my home, you probably won't ever see me break down because I like to do it in my own little comfortable space. That in that energy, we, though, can bring forward a greater sense of authenticity, of truth. So bringing this ability to go down and in, to ground our spirit, to enhance our lives. That's what soulful is all about. And so when we move, we aren't moving just with the feeling, we're moving in order to feel, to have this ability like, I do exist. I am here. I am valid in what is going on, but I am not just that feeling. Okay, that's kind of a big thing to digest, so let's move. We are going to, how do you guys want to start? I'm going to tune in. We're going to start in child's pose, okay? If child's pose is too much, please start lying down on your belly. Hi, Diane, you made it. You guys are figuring out to find me a little bit after 10, which is good. I always try, but it's not my life right now. It's not. That was part of my breakdown, is I'm living for everybody else on many levels right now. So getting to the soul is really, really important because it's essential. So we're going to start in child's pose, and I'm just going to go straight there. So as you get on your mat, if you can't do child's pose, just start lying on your belly. Always highest good, harm to none. You're in charge of you, and we want the elegance of our soul to come forward. We want that richness, that quality of knowing that we can create sacred beauty. Okay, so child's pose, and I'm going to go into child's pose with you. So I want you to connect to your breath. I want you to acknowledge and understand where you are and how you are at this moment. Doesn't matter if the sun's in Pisces and the moon is in Libra and the moon is on the verge of being full expansion. It's where you are, and understanding that cycle and that energy of you. So child's pose, here we go. and you drop in and you connect to your breath. And that quality of you right here, right now. And draw a sacred circle of divine love and protection around you. You're gonna inhale and stretch forward, rise up onto your hands and knees, and just sweep your hips from side to side. Okay? Feel, if you didn't, our soul sits in the bottom part of our heart, and reframe, the low belly and the sacrum. Okay? It sits in this part that we usually disconnect from. So I want you just to wag your hips from side to side, wag your tail. I like to believe that animals tell us they're happy by wagging their tail. The vet tells me that it's just an automatic response. It doesn't really connect to anything. So you can listen to science or you can listen to your intuition. I try to do both. So wag your tail. Feel just a movement. Start to move in your low belly. I'm kind of pelvic tilting just to get the core to wake up. And in that core awakening, we're going to slide ourselves back to our center, soften the heart. Left arm goes under, space under the neck, come to the fingertips. 3 breaths here. So breathe into your body, feel what's there. Call on your highest self. She's there, he's there. And just feel connected into your own heart, and then become that quality. Exhale out completely, ground the hand. Inhale up, and then just sweep the hips again. Move the head around, clear out through the neck and shoulders and jaw. Then come back through the center. Right arm goes under. Again, you're not falling into the back of the head. There's support here. This is sacred. So sacred. We're all sacred. The whole being is sacred. Draw into the belly. Breathe those 3 breaths. Exhale out completely. Inhale up onto your hands and knees. Open the heart. You can move the hips around again if you need to. Tuck the toes and just move back, downward dog. 3 clear breaths here. Just allowing the spine, allowing us to break up the tension of being limited in our ability to express ourselves freely in our life right now. And then exhale, knees to the earth. You're going to lean back. So feel the hips, toes are tucked, hands go back. Find the fingertips, core is sweeping in, shoulders to your back. Open your heart. Big full breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to come here. Hands come forward. Untuck your feet. So spread through the fingers. Make certain this part of your hand is grounded, that you're not just on the periphery. You get into the core. Our core essence is our soul. So our sacred essence is the depth, the deep layers where our potential sits. But we call on the highest and grounded. So find the hands. We're going to sweep the belly back. And the idea is to connect to the space between the rib cage and the hip points, the trochanters, and really pull into this back body. So hands are grounded. You can widen your elbows and you can play with your shoulders, but you're just going to lift your knees up, pull in, and then exhale, tongue out. Inhale in, exhale, inhale, knees come down, and exhale. Inhale in, exhale, inhale in, and exhale. Every time you're exhaling, you're getting that core in. Inhale in, exhale, Inhale in. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale in. Exhale. Inhale in. Exhale. Inhale in. And exhale. Inhale in. And exhale. Walk your hands forward. Come onto your forearms. Palms up. Soften the area in the shoulders and just melt here. Hopefully you can feel your core. And then what I want you to do is feel that deeper core and soften the area in the shoulders, which actually all the hard work I've been doing to evolve and care for myself probably brought that deep wound that led to the breakdown, that allowed for the chaos. And believe me, while I was in a chaotic moment, you're going to lift into the belly, soften the area in the shoulders. I was certainly rolling my eyes at all the things that I know, because I've also learned how not to intellectually bypass or positively or optimistically avoid what needs to be nourished. Here we are. We're in that forearm, just with our knees down. Get the lower belly to draw in, outer hips to hug, and then 5 breaths here. Breathing into that part of the rib cage we just opened up. So don't let the core go. Really work hard to get into the back of the rib cage. This is the work. We're not moving. We don't see any results right now. We just feel deeply. We feel a connection. We feel awakening. We might even feel feisty or annoyed or perturbed. And then as you exhale, that last exhale, move all the way back, child's pose, and just review where you began. How did you begin? Inhale, roll the spine up, hands reach back so my feet aren't tucked this time, they're pointed. Do what you need to do, you're in charge, you know yourself, I can't see you. And then shoulders draw into the back, lift the heart, lift the chest. So my hips are still on my seat. And as we're there, you're gonna lean over to the right hand, stretch the left arm up, continue to lean over, pull into the belly, hips heavy, just stretching into that side. And then exhale, circle the arm down in front, find your fingertips. Right arm lifts, hips are heavy, inner thighs are heavy, pubic bones heavy, tailbones heavy, waking up into the sideline. Again, we want to feel the room to expand this point of our instinct and our intuition, that they can work together. Because that's what fire and water are, instinct and intuition. Come back to the center, hands come forward, tuck the toes, move through that waistline all the way back, downward dog. And then walk it forward. Find your feet at the front edge of your mat. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, finally, open the heart. Exhale, fold. 2 more times. Inhale, filling up into this back line. Exhale, bowing down. Inhale, expanding. Exhaling over. So let's go for 5. Because the way you get the breakthrough is if you hold space with compassion and kindness for the transformation, for the evolving of you, so that you can feel that fullness and permission to shine, because that's what that fire wants to do. Exhale all the way forward, bend the knees or go through an extended spine, pull and rise up. Inhale, arms overhead, and then exhale, hinge the hips all the way down to the earth. Inhale, find length. Exhale, left foot goes back. So as you go back with the left foot, connect to that support. So touch your trochanter, your thigh,
your inner thigh, okay? You don't have to hit it, but just make sure you connect to it. Then bring your hands to that trochanter and bottom rib cage. And how much is it shortening? How much can you get that belly to lift? Then lunge into the front knee without losing that back line. Wrap the hips, shoulders to the back, stretch the arm up to the sky. Full breath in and a full breath out. So we feel the feistiness, right? The intensity. It's just a lunge twist. I ain't asking you to do anything bizarre or wonky. I'm just asking you to be mindful and connected to the deeper layers of yourself. And then exhale a hand down, pivot, lunge. Yes, here we are. Skandinavasana. So heels are on the ground. There's a reason for it. Pull into the belly. Find your fingertips. Hips are moving back. Outer hips are hugging in. Spine stretching forward. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then inhale, come back through the center. Pivot. Shift. Back leg lifts. Inhale the leg up. We're moving slow this first time, by the way. And then exhale, curtsy. Pull into the core. Bend the knees. Inhale, expand. Exhale, curtsy. Inhale, expand. Exhaling, curtsy. Inhale, expanding. And exhale, curtsy. Inhale, expand. Pause here. Kick that foot towards the ground. Pull up into that left waist. It's the same as that lunge that we just did. Pull into the core. Now find the length here. Stretch the heart forward. Shoulders to your back. Arms stretches up. Revolved half moon. Deep, full breath in. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring the knee all the way to the ground. So maybe you pull it in. Maybe you tuck the toes. Knee comes down. And you lean back. Be creative. Find that flow. Find that authentic expression. Because guess what? I talk to you as if you're here, which on some level could be qualified as a little out there. But you are here, your energy is present. So tune into the way you need to move, accept that I'm different than you. However, we can tap into that soulful expression that's wanting to come forward. Knees stack. Both hips are on the ground. Pull the belly in. Now, if you need to straighten the bottom leg, you can. It's a very different expression. Wrap those outer hips down. Inner thighs are down. Ribs are in. You're going to bring your right hand to the side. Sweep the left arm. Shoulders to the back. Any of you that were dancers, this will remind you of being a dancer. Draw in, open, big full breath in. And then exhale. The arm's going to sweep. It's going to move across, pull in, lift up. You're reaching over without undoing everything else. Then inhale, come all the way up. Arm sweeps through. You reach over. Inhale up through the center. Arm sweeps through, reaching over. Inhale all the way up through the center. Now, here's where it's interesting. Lengthen through the spine. Take the top leg. You're going to unwind it. I'm at the back edge of my mat. You might be too. So accept where you are. Shift the weight. And we're going to come into Pigeon Pose, left leg forward. So come all the way down into Pigeon. All the way down to the earth. Connect deeply into the breath. Into the belly. Into the core of your essence. Solar plexus. And sacral region. It is our energy today. And then in that connection, we're going to go deeper. You can go to child's pose here. You can go to that heart melting prep that we did. Or tuck the toes. Draw the knee in. I got to move back. And as you draw in, forearms are down. So you could be here. This is really powerful. You could be here. This holds a lot of power. This holds a lot of ability to connect to the deeper layers of yourself and strengthen from the inside out. Or you can come into that forearm plank. I forgot what this was called. Or you can be here. Or ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Head to the earth. Shoulders to the back body. Pulling in, maybe you just come here, maybe you come one leg, maybe you bend one knee, maybe you hover. Be where you need to be. Be in your energy, be in the connection to you. Reclaim your vitality. Bring the foot down, walk the feet back, so toes are tucked. Mindful of how that sacral region connects to the neck. Mindful of how the throat opens. Lean back, hips go back, toes are tucked this time, hands behind you. And then, when you get here to the opening, core in, lengthen, open. Full breath in, full breath out. Rise up, hands forward, feet step back. Look where we are, downward dog. Inhaling in and exhaling out. Walk the Z feet forward. Find both feet and exhale over. 5 breaths. Inhale, spine long. Exhale, bow. So lift the head. Just be kind of ability to bear witness to how you're moving from these deeper layers. We so often see people lead with their head and then lean here. We want to feel the connection here. Moving from our center. Orienting from our potentiality. Reclaiming our vitality. So that we can be that embodied feminine that brings forward the beauty and the peace. The love, the joy, the compassion, the kindness, to really be of service in our lives. Bend the knees, chin to your chest. Hold into the steadiness. Rise up. Inhale the arms overhead. Here we go, second side. Hinge at the hips, all the way down to the earth. Inhale, spine long, right foot goes back. As the right foot's back, you connect. Don't just get caught up in the expectation of the mind. That's what creates the breakdown. So you want to have a direction, you want to have a dream. So then pull in, lift through the back inner thigh, right? Feel that lift, feel that connection here. And feel this ability to connect. I'm going to remind you again and again, because I've forgotten to remind you, so I'm reminding you again. Trochanter, rib cage, spine's long. Find that length. Don't let this collapse because you need a big twist. The power of the twist comes from the connection to your deep self. That's where the transformation resides. Not in the final product, but the intentionality of showing up. Deep, full breath in. Deep, full breath out. And then exhale the hand to the earth. Shift the weight forward. Inhale the back leg. Right? Free the hip if you need to. Parallel. Kick the foot towards the earth. Lift into that left waistline. Revolved half moon pose. Finding that length. Opening up. Feeling the connection. This side wants to drop. It always does. Pull up if you need to. Check in. Can you feel the tilt, the drop? Wake it back up. Pull it back to the midline. Lengthen the spine. Stretch the arm. Half moon. And then curtsy. Hand to the earth, bend the knee. Pull into the core. Inhale, stretch the leg out. Exhale, we're doing the curtsy to feel the movement from our center, not from the periphery, right? The periphery is more like the spirit. The center is the soul. 2 more, I think. So powerful. I know your butt's ready to shine. So here you are. You can curtsy all the way in, or knee comes down. I'll lean it all the way back, just to show. It doesn't have to be pretty, because you're showing up. And you're doing yoga at home by yourself. Nobody's watching. So you can do it exactly the way you want to. That's what permission I've given me. I've given me. That is not good English. Permission I've given me. Myself. So here we are. Hell yes. Knees are stacked. Draw in. Just check in. So I'm pausing for a moment to breathe. What needs to be adjusted? I'm not just reacting to, oh, my right knee feels weird. Holy crap. My left hip is way tighter than I realized. What needs to shift? Breathe again. How can I shift first from this deep place inside of reorienting? And just that reorientation, I realize I'm leaning too far forward. It's so subtle. Guess what? The only way you'll know is if you go in and you show up and you experience. So just by actually pulling the waistline back, my knee feels better. Lean over to the left. The right hand, this is the very dancer energy of me, so I'm sorry. But I told you I'm fully embodying this Pisces season. There was a time in my life, 20 years ago, that I just really didn't understand Pisces. I'm not telling that story right now at all. Draw into the belly, so the right arm's gonna sweep. You're gonna lift up and you're stretching over, hips grounded, sides are long. And then inhale the arm up, right hand comes down. The left arm sweeps across. And there is this drama. Lengthen through the spine, arm lifts up, big side body stretch. Inhale, rise. Right arm lifts, sweeps across the midline, across the horizon. Do you remember doing that when we were in Aquarius season and a lot of air energy? The sun was in air. Big breath in, ground in, rise up, hands to the earth, it sweeps across. Inhale, rise. Last time, I think I've done one too many, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be huge externally because you're creating the bigness internally. Inhale, come all the way up. This knee's gonna come up. It's going to sweep back and shift over. So where are you in space and time? Accept where you are, and then realign. Yoga makes that jump from acceptance and realignment seem like it's quick and easy. In real life, it takes more time. So you want to connect. You want to feel what's going on in your being. And in your being, how can you become more of your truth? How can you become more of your sacred essence? This is just the first step to move with greater intention, but that movement is so important because it helps awaken. It helps us feel safe to enter in. If it was just movement, I certainly wouldn't be doing this in my room, talking to myself, knowing that you guys are out there some way, shape, or form. All right, friends, now you decide, you tune in, right? So this is more real life. We pause, we breathe, we feel the currency of our head ups like, wow, okay. I guess it's a good thing that they're talking so much. It means I'm using them. That means they're contracting and the yoga helps it expand. I feel the heat myself, something's happening. So decide where you're gonna go. Look, I climb too forward on my mat. Sometimes I'm overly ambitious, and that over-ambitious nature doesn't allow me to achieve anything. So walk in, draw in, tuck the toes, and yes, when I was in my breakdown, I was like, you have all these ambitions and you can't achieve, but now I can speak from a genuine place. So maybe that forearm plank, maybe knees to the earth, maybe head to the ground. This is so much about getting connected into your royalty, and you draw in. And as you draw in, maybe you just come here. You're super crystal clear. You take the other leg up. This side's not going to let me be there for long without losing integrity. And then you return. You return to the earth. The knees come down. And even if you're in that forearm prep, if you're here, you pause once you touch the earth because you're grounding that higher expression, and then you allow it to come forward. Lengthen through the throat, lengthen through the spine. Roll the spine back. Notice how I'm moving here, not from up here. Feel that lift, lengthen through the spine, hands behind you, shoulders to the back, open the heart. then inhale, rise. Hands, oh, I think I forgot something. I did. Okay, we'll come back to it. Inhale, lift up, move it back. Maybe you guys did it. In my research last night, I learned that, especially moms, I'm not undermining anybody who's not a mom. Let's forget moms, okay? Because that's the vantage point I can speak from so much right now, but not everybody else is there for a lot of different reasons. Stress makes us forget. Stress makes us forget. So that's a huge sort of sign. If you're highly stressed, forgetting things left and right, you're probably more stressed than you realized. Inhale finally to open the heart. Exhale, bow. Just because I forgot it, we're going to step it back. Right foot goes back, shift, Satubanda. And if you already did it, just go ahead and do your 5 links. Heels are grounded. Hands are out in front. Connect here. Lengthen. Deep full breath in. And a deep full breath out. And then inhale, come back through the center. Just step it forward and bow. Because we're resilient. We can realign. And if you haven't done your 5, inhale, lengthen, exhale, bow, go for it. But again, reminder, moving from here, moving from the core, from our essence. So if we can take this not to just be movement and momentum, but a deep, mindful connection to the layers of ourselves that are buried. That's where the potential and the strength really reside. And the knees bend, roll the spine up. Rise all the way up. Big full breath in. And exhale, hands to heart center. Feel how we started to the earth. And here we stand. Not in the achievement of every pose, but just that really the ambition to be here. To be in a deeper practice cultivating the energy of our essence so we can be soulful. So we can actually allow that potentiality. This is the opportunity of life to let that vitality resurrect within us and illuminate our environment, the space that we take up, and we can take up more space because it's a genuine current of exchange. Full breath in. Full breath out. And so stand here fully in that soul's light, that we've grounded the spirit. We've brought it into the earth, into this physical offering, and up through the heart, it evolves and enhances the environment by our authentic beauty. Stand in that fullness. Heel toe the feet apart. I'm always going to do that. If you feel like doing that whole flow again a couple more times with a little more momentum, go for it. I don't feel it right now, so I'm not going to do it. Big breath in, and then exhale. Come all the way down into Malasana. So Malasana is that prayer-like, that garland-like, but I really would rather us to listen here for 5 breaths. Listen to the feelings, the wisdom of your being, the guidance of your soul.
Offer up gratitude to those that have gone before you, and they have found their way of just being true to them. And even if that truth has brought pain, it has brought you to this moment. And just offer up gratitude that you can be present. You can stand in this strength, even if you've come seated into Baddha Konasana, into butterfly pose. Just honor, 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 honor. What a journey. Touch to the earth, come seated. Stretch legs out long, out in front of you. Find that length, that fullness. If you'd rather, soles of the feet together, knees wide, go for it. Find that full anchoring. Inner thighs are down, outer hips are down. Pull into the back waistline. Fill up. Feel this ability to ground in to the soil of your essence and rise up in that enhancement of your life. Hands come to the feet or the earth and bow. And even though I can bow way further, way more deeply, I'm backing off and honoring and remaining connected to that deeper energy. Five breaths. Why five? Five is the transformative number. One is two, as is zero, but let's do five. Exhale out, lengthen the spine. Inhale, come all the way out. Has anybody else experienced that when you do a pose, sometimes the pose is the portal to the past and the remembrance of the first time you discovered that experiential opportunity within yourself? That's what soul is, right? So for me, the platform of yoga is my platform. It's my podium in which I offer out. My coaching is the way that we work more intimately to bring it forward, because when you're just swimming in the swirl of you, you're still rather biased. So I'm not going to go into that. So it's important to do it all. And so now as we come lying down, we're going lying down, you're going to bend your knees, feet on the floor or not, use your hands, pull into the belly and articulate all the way down. Once you get here, stop. Okay, keep the tail heavy, pubic bone heavy, hips heavy. I have so much gratitude towards Kara right now, and she has been helping me cultivate this connection, which is also partly why I had the breakdown, to be able to pull in more to this container, to feel that I have the ability to swim to the shoreline. Hands can come back behind the head, and we're just here. We're not doing anything crazy other than breathing into these sides. I know it's hard. Let your head be heavy in your arms. Shoulders are drawn in towards your heart center. And I just want you to stay here till you shake, till you tremor with vitality, until you feel that warrior energy, that soul warrior, that soul goddess, that ability to choose consciously to co-create your life, downward and inward and outward and upward, that we find our center in that ability to remain connected to our essential truth in nature and respecting the sacred journey and the beauty we can bring forward. You guys shaking yet? See if you can lift a little bit higher. If you're not shaking, lift a little bit higher. And then come to the earth. You get to do the twist that serves you. I like to keep mine simple. I make everything else complicated. I like to keep twist simple. Knees go over to the left. 5 breaths here. So notice how our practice today has had a fierceness. It's had a flow to it. It's had a dance, it's had that mystical energy to it.
And in that fierceness, no, we haven't like boiled the waters. We haven't fogged up the room. We haven't overextended so much that we put the flame out. There's a tender heart in it all. Inhale back through the center, and the knees roll over to the other side. That core we woke up, use it here. Don't let that energy between these 2 points just go blah. Connect in. So on some level, I'm not being very yogic-like, but each of us, all of us, you guys know how important the core is to me, and even mine is underdeveloped. We sit too much. I sit a lot, believe it or not. It helps me be grounded. And then hug into the belly, inhale back through the center, knees to your chest. Give yourself a nice hug. Rock and roll from side to side. Woohoo. So excited. Feet come to the earth. Feel the ground of your feet. Now, you can do this using a wall. And I'm trying to think if I want to show it to you. And which wall I can show it to you. How about this? I'll show it to you on the mat. And I'll give you choices, right? Which is nice. So when you come back to a replay, you're like, oh, I've been working on that. I can work on something else. So first choice is just bridge pose, but your arms by your sides. Okay. Connect. Tail's heavy. Feet are heavy. And as you rise up, you feel this lift. You come into that center, throat opens, shoulders drop in. I'm still not an advocator of down. I'm an advocator of in. And expand here without the belly plop in, and keep these ribs in. So you could be here. Actually, I'll just do it. We'll do the progression here. Everybody bridge pose. Feel the opening. And now we're going to slowly come down. You're leading with your inner thighs, but you're also leading with the back of the rib cage, okay? So your inner thighs are there, your buns are holding the carriage of your pelvis, but you're filling up the back rib cage. So you're gonna come with an arched back to the ground, the tail's heavy, it lands, and then you have to let it come all the way down. And then we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, drawing in and up, right? So we're drawing in and feeling the lift up. And then exhaling. Filling up into the back of the ribs. Shoulders are heavy. Head is heavy. Tailbone is anchoring us down. Now notice it lands, but it can go deeper without losing this connection. Inhale, rise. And then exhaling. Notice I'm not clasping my hands behind me. We're really working the solar plexus and the sacral. Thank you, yoga. Our identity and our essence. Inhale, rise up. So here you go. You can do 2 more of those pulses, or shoulders are in, throats open, walking the left foot towards the midline as much as you need to. You gotta fill up, really draw awareness into this left side body. Inhale the right knee up. We're not gonna straighten it. We're here, knee bent. Pull into the belly. Heart's lifted, throats open. Wiggle your toes, smile. Keep pulling that left outer shin towards the midline. Push through the big toe mound. Connect, that'll help you connect into your core more. Use your buns. And then exhale, filling up the back body. Bring your hips all the way down. Right foot to the floor. Breathe in. And here we go. We get to do the other side now. Feet ground. Shoulders draw in. Throat open. So you're expanding wide. You're lifting through the outer hips, throat opens, draw the shoulders in. Now, I want you to take inventory of what's racing through you right now. What's the pattern of your mind and how you're showing up? Yes, we're doing Eka Pada Satubanda Sarvangasana. Good gosh, that's a lot to say. So move the right foot towards the center. Make sure your knee is tracking straight ahead. I'm an advocator, then adjust the foot. Ideally, it's parallel. And then you feel this connection here. You got to really draw in. Left knee lifts, knee stays bent. It's actually easier to extend. Go up and out. Breathing in. Oh yeah, holy moly macaroni. Yes, anybody there with me? 2 more breaths. Breathing into the sides, stay connected here. And then exhale. So you're leading with the inner thigh. The bun's still there. The ribs are pulling back. They're not flattening down. They're just the anchors to draw you in. The tail comes all the way down. Both feet to the earth. Release the shoulders. Relax the head. Windshield wiper the legs from side to side. So you changed my mind completely with what we were going to do. Okay, so now where we're going, I'm going to show you this move. You can decide and determine if you want to do it in the middle on your mat or by a wall or using a chair. Okay, so the arms are going to come in. You're going to rock up. And we're just here. Okay, so both knees are bent. Have you guys noticed that pattern today? Then vertebrae by vertebrae. Woo, my core's tired. You roll down slowly. Okay, then inhale, rise up. So, how would you do this at the wall? See, perfect. I showed you, and my body says, hey, look. Nourish yourself. Don't overdo it. So I'm going to go to the wall. I think you'll still be able to see me. How do we do it at the wall? We give honor to Zulgan's creation. Like this to me. I love this so much. This is sacred beauty to me. This is like the assimilation of so much, this porcelain figure. Okay, so here we are. If you're going to do this at the wall, you can continue to do it 5 times in the middle, or you're going to come to the wall, draw in. You do that same thing. You rise up here, and then this is just a way to recreate that straight. Your feet are in the wall, your inner thighs, you're coming down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Tail gets heavy, right? And then you rise back up. And then vertebrae by vertebrae. You lower back down. So powerful to reconnect, to heal those deeper layers. Throat's open, arms are grounded. So you go for 5. I am a huge fan of resistance work, right? And having the feedback. And then once you've done that 5, you come all the way out. If you were in the middle of the room and you wanted full on plow pose, go for it. Otherwise, let your feet come off the wall, let your knees draw in. You can rock from side to side. Feel free to do legs up the wall. I ain't feeling it today. Probably because I had my big restore last night. Or just come back to lying down. And as you come lying down, we're going to start either feet together, knees wide, or knees together, feet wide. So I'm going to use support so that I know myself well enough, and hopefully my being vulnerable and transparent helps you realize that that's where the beauty resides, okay? That's where the joy sits. That's where the authenticity, and when we're true to ourselves and true to our lives, The happiness is genuine. So if your soles of the feet are together, knees are wide, great. Use a bolster, use blocks, use what you need. If you're at the wall, you can do legs up the wall, soles of the feet together, or just legs up the wall. Or you're lying down. Oh my gosh, so many choices. It can overwhelm you. So just drop in and trust. Now, once you're there, I want you to feel how much and where you're holding the tension, where you're not releasing. And at the same time, still feeling the connection to your container. We're going to breathe into the back of the ribs, the back of the lungs, and towards the ground. So you're going to feel the back rib cage melt towards the earth, get heavy towards the earth, and then expand. Isn't that crazy that through the effort, the expansion comes? And then just let the breath be. Adjust your legs. Feel support of the ground beneath you, the body that holds you, the body you live in. Just as you are, enjoy a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And the depth of your breath. Notice that just as you are, there's a depth to you. And how deeply you connect is your choice. But my request is that you give yourself permission to connect to the depth of your own potential, to be soulful in your life. And allowing that soul to come forward as you wiggle your toes and your fingers and let your head sway from side to side. And then you're gonna bend your knees. Give yourself a sweet hug. Embracing yourself with that reminder of your own inner capacity to rise. And then roll over and come seated. And in that seat, however that seat looks for you, it's yours. That you can bring your hands to rest on your own heart. And that the hands placed on your heart is the gesture of recognition. That you're more than just all of this out there. But that vibrancy and vitality, that beauty and that essence sit buried deep in the cells. It's in the imprint of your essence as you were called for to step forward in this life. And may that light be of service for you to feel that rich and meaningful experience of yourself. And to be of service to those you love. With that grace, that kindness, and that compassion. So I say hello to this moment that sits before us. Namaste. And I thank you guys in every which way, even though I sit here in my own little space, talking to myself. I'm really talking to the energy of each of you, whether we know each other or we don't. There's a connection to this essence of ourselves that we're hungry for. And I speak to that hunger, to that desire to bring forward that eloquence that is uniquely your own. And that, to me, is what I've got. And hopefully, because you're here, we don't have to have the rich connection of a past, a history, but rather a dream and a vision of where we want to go and how we want to bring our life forward. And that's what I'm in service of. And I hope you know that you're part of that. And that we're all in this together, in this journey into a new world and a new terrain that's really all the same. So live or replay or wherever this finds you, I hope you find yourself well. And thank you. Thank you for all your offerings and your generosity so that I don't lose my mind hanging out, showing up in this way, in this space. And I will see you. I will see you soon. And I thank you. I thank you. That call of chaos and that breakthrough is not for the weak at heart, right? It's totally for the soulfully courageous. So thank you for being part of that. Bye.